y'all. If you're listening to the sound of our voices, that means that you have found your way to the Charmingly Awkward podcast. Stay tuned for some organized chaos.
So excited for this topic today. Y'all, we have been just in a whirlwind of things, social media, it's all over the place. However, I have been fasting screen time. So only 2 hours at max a day of any screen time. So on my phone, watching TV, all the things. And it's actually been like life altering in a really great way.
That's so funny that you said that because this year I put an app on my phone. It's called Opal, and it'll literally like you have to go into that app and say that you want to take a break, and it'll tell you how much time you spend and like how much like less time you're spending on your phone and stuff. So like my goal is for that to continue to go down.
Yeah.
And I have it set for certain times. So like my morning routine, it like completely blocks out social media, and my like evening routine, once it hits that time, it completely blocks out social media, and then all through work, which has been so nice because then I feel like I don't feel the need to like pick up my phone all the time because I know that it's blocked and I have to like go into that app and like do specific things. Like it tells you to breathe, and then you have to go in, and then you have to say hit a break, and then you have to say for how long, and then it's like, are you sure? It's a process
To get in there. So you're like, no, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, so at that point I'm like, oh, that's too much work. I'll just not look and I'll just move on.
Yeah. No, there's like this one app too on the people's phones, and it's like better terms, like there's like a digital key on their phone, and you put it on your refrigerator, and you have to be around this digital key to get your apps. And I know people who like lock their apps before they leave for the day, and they can't be on
Nice.
it when they're gone. And then they have to like unlock it with a key that they place. I'm gonna say the refrigerator because that's where theirs is to unlock
Yeah,
the apps. And I was like, that's really cool, but also really intense of like, we got to do that to make sure we're not like distracting ourselves with
right.
apps.
I mean, they're so addicting and they're built that way because of the algorithms and all the things, which brings us into our topic for the day, social media and the illusion of influencers and how people portray themselves. What do you think? How do you feel about that, Destiny?
I personally feel as if it's, I respect everyone's hustle. I really do. But I do think that it really does negatively impact everyone. Um, and that's just from like, honestly, not being on the screen for a whole month and the difference it makes in like your life. Because you don't see anything. You're not comparing yourself. You're not like all up in somebody else's business. I truly think that if we spent less time on our screens, we'd have just a little bit more of a mental health, better mental health. I'm not saying that's a fix and end all, but I feel like the way people show up online and their personas of like everything's rainbows and butterflies is not really what's happening in real life, right? And so people are thriving to be this image that they're seeing online, and really somebody's life's in shambles, right? So I just find that very interesting. And I just always have to like to remind myself, especially after working through COVID virtually, remember that there's always somebody who's probably not wearing real pants, right? Like you only see so much
Truly.
on the screen. Like, let it go.
And people don't show you their real lives. And in a real situation that happened because social media went too far. There was a mommy influencer in Utah
Yes.
who went too far, and she was portrayed as the perfect mother with these beautiful children, and she like ended up leaving her husband for this woman, which nobody cares that she was like secretly gay, but like was she actually, because this woman apparently has done this to other women and ended up like abusing her children and got sent to jail for it. So her online persona was very different than what was happening behind closed doors. So honestly, nobody should really believe what's online because it's all a lie.
Yeah. High key. And like, I think everyone in the world probably knows somebody who's probably like a social media influencer or somebody like this. And I'd be like, I'm not a hater, but y'all's
Mm-hmm.
content's real cute. But I know behind the scenes, this is not what life is looking like. You know what I mean? Like, I just
Yeah.
personally know that. And so that also keeps me humble is that I like, okay, I know people whose persona online looks so beautiful, rainbows, butterflies. They hopping on trips literally every weekend, modeling, doing this and that. And I'm like, but you're miserable.
Yeah.
You are literally miserable. So I don't know. Don't love it. And there is a difference. And I really do love authentic posters. I miss where Instagram used to just be just random pictures, like
Oh
silly
yeah, that's the
pictures,
best.
like nothing curated. And literally, I'm not throwing shade because I use it for my business. But I
Mm-hmm.
also think that that it's always nice to like have the little asterisk of like, hey, this ain't real life. There's other things happening.
Right. Do you feel like social media has taken away people's personalities?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes, 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 yes. As a person who gets to experience different cities with different individuals, sometimes famous people, I have seen how many people, and this is no shade, but y'all all know an Instagram baddie, right? And it's like everybody wants to be an Instagram baddie. Like, don't nobody want to just not be a baddie?
Right.
No, and so like that's what I'm saying because like then you go outside and you see like everyone looks the same, everyone acts the same, everyone's thinking the same. And as a person who really values creativity, I can see it being lost because we all try to change our image, whether we realize it or not, of what we're
Right.
seeing on social media. And I actually find it funny. Someone once said, like, girls look at girls' Instagrams and dress like the girls they see, right? And they're like, oh. And then guys do the same about guys. And then all of us are like, what are you even doing? That's not even cute. Like, I cackle when people throw shade about guys who put like fish and stuff on their dating profiles. I'm probably
Yeah.
like one of 500 girls who are like, oh my God, I love that. But as a person who loves outdoors, you have to know
Right.
me. Right. And I laugh because I'm like, they're probably doing that because they saw other guys do it. Right. And so, like, but if they took a moment and asked, like, what do girls like?
Mm-hmm.
We want to see you at brunch. Like, like that's our pictures.
Yeah.
Like we're
It's
brunching.
a good
We're
time.
friends. Like, there's a lot of different things. And so I definitely feel like it forces people to be a certain way before they even realize that they are.
Yeah, well, everyone ends up buying all of the same things. Everyone's houses turn into beige houses because that's aesthetically pleasing. And I'm sorry, I just like did that affect me at one time? Yes, and I was like, why am I doing this? Like, nobody cares. Like, I don't even care. And I just think that it's ruining, like you said, people's creativity, and it's pushing waste because people are
Mhm.
over consuming from all of the things that these influencers are pushing. But what the other side doesn't realize is these influencers are A, getting paid for it, or
Yes.
B, they're giving you a link that then are being paid for it because you're giving them commission. And C, since it's a business for them, all of it is a write-off.
And that's my one thing. I literally say this all the time. It's like, stop letting influencers tell you how to spend your money, okay? Because they're
Yes.
rich and they're becoming even more rich off of you. They are not paying for anything that they're showing you. Like,
No.
stop letting people influence you. Even though, side note, Elizabeth does influence me a lot with all the tech things
But
she has.
I buy my own stuff.
But she buys her own things. And I also come to my mind and realize, like, I don't need it. All that to say is, I think we do ourselves such a disservice and we're wasting money
Agreed.
too, right? Like, what are we doing? We don't
Yeah.
need that new whatever that is. What you have is fine. So I don't know who needs to hear this, but I'm tapping on your forehead to remind you, you don't need that.
And that comes with age of like understanding what's happening on that side. We also didn't grow up, like to an extent, we didn't grow up with social media. So I feel like to an extent, we understand that it's fake because I feel like I don't know, I got social media in like high school, and these kids are like babies and their parents are letting them on social media. And that's so not only is that dangerous, because it is very dangerous because there's very bad people out there, but it's also so bad for their mental health because they're comparing themselves to adults who can have adult money and can do adult things and look like adults. So now our children are looking like adults because that's who they want to be.
So go back and think about, because you just said that influencers are like fitness influencers, love them, right? Again, it's a hustle. I respect everyone's hustle. But I also have to remind people like these people get paid to work out. That's
Yeah,
their
they do it all the
job.
time. That's
They're
it.
able to do that. You are working a 9 to 5, volunteering, taking care of kids, being a husband, being a wife, whatever you got to be. And you trying to have a six pack? Show off, six. I
Like,
literally in my
I
life,
respect that more.
I only know one woman in my entire life who is a mom, a worker, a PTO president, and has a six pack. Yo,
Mhm.
literally. I don't know how she does it. She's a boss. But again, I only see her from the outside. I don't know what happens in her real life.
Yeah.
And that goes back to that.
Exactly. You don't know what's happening behind closed doors. And like these influencers, their job is to post and curate a perfect life. And let's be honest, like their lives aren't perfect and they just hide the struggle. They're so used to hiding it. Like you have no idea what's going on. It's why like and within famous people, like suicide rates much
Mm-hmm.
higher because that mental health, they just don't feel like they can let it out because then they're letting everybody else down. And it's so sad. I mean, I think it's sad.
It really is, because once you create that illusion, it's so hard to break it, like you said, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
if you have put yourself out there like you have it all together, how can you be real? How can you show that it's okay to express some kind of emotions? It's okay to be angry.
Yeah.
We need to talk about the negative things about that of being like social media. Fame is awful. That's honestly my biggest fear in the world would be famous. Like
Mm-hmm.
couldn't I know people dream of that, but I feel like that's so sad to be famous. You take away so much of your own joys, and like it forces you to be somebody that you're not, because
Yeah, and you've got to have a really thick skin to be famous because there's so many people who love to hate.
mm,
And if you don't think you can handle that, then there's no point of trying to be famous because it will wreck you.
what Chris Brown say, you can't, how you hating from the outside the club? You can't even get in. Normally,
Yeah.
that's normally the people who got something to say, right? Like they never been
Hmm.
anywhere. I also like to think of it as the parent who yells on the sideline, "You can do better," and I'm like, bro, your knees are blown out. You
Hmm.
played middle school football. These kids are in college or in NFL. You know, everyone always has an opinion and they always want to share it. And so you were so
Yeah,
right.
my favorite thing is Tom Holland said this. I forgot where he got it from, but he said that if you have a problem with me, but you don't have my number to tell me about that problem, then you don't know me well enough to have a problem with me.
Ah, that is so valid. That's it.
I was like, right?
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. That's so good.
How do you feel like, though, post the influencers that social media affects your relationships with like friends and family? And I mean, we've kind of covered self-esteem, but even like your self-esteem when you like see what people are posting.
Yeah, I think it's always easy to compare yourself to someone on social media, even if they're your friend or not your friend, and whether you intend to or not, you're just subconsciously doing it, right? Because you're seeing what everyone else is doing, what everyone else is accomplishing. I know I'd be seeing people like in other countries. I'm like, yo, how you doing that? How are you
Mm-hmm.
doing that? It also can affect your relationships. If first off, I don't really let people borrow money. So don't call me asking me for money because I'm not giving it to you. But two, if I ever let somebody borrow money and I see them on a trip on social media, I'm gonna comment on it and be like, yo, you got that money you owe me. So that could really mess up a
Mm-hmm.
friendship. And I've seen that happen before, like people being like, not that they owe me money and they're on this trip. And I'm like, couldn't be me. You know what I mean? So there's just ways like that. And I think relationships on social media can also make people feel a certain kind of way. They're seeing things from the outside, you know, like, oh, they have it all together. And how many couples have you seen that don't have it together? You know, like people you went to school with, and they're like, oh my God, they're so great. And then you're like, oh, they're not that great. And so we just give
Look,
ourselves
hold
all.
on. I'm going to throw this out there real quick. If you're going to chronically put your relationship online and
Oh,
then you break up, I need a breakup post. I need to
yes.
know why it happened because you've put everything else there out there online. So you might as well give me the conclusion to the story.
I don't need to just know why it happened. I need to know the last text, you know,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
like screenshot it for me. The same way I saw all the PDA posts, which cool, but that's like giving me a book without the ending, and that's
Right.
not fair. And that is the one moment in life where I do agree that if you post about your relationship online, that is now my business. That is, you
Hmm.
didn't tell me and you didn't post about it, it's not my business. But you posted about it, so now I'm invested. And that's the one space in life I really do need closure.
Agreed. I think it would make everybody happy. And I think that the world can get behind that. That is like something we can all unify with.
Yeah. You know, that's why I believe in a good soft launch, a good just taking a picture of the ring, you know, things like that. But if I see their face, that's now my business. Now my business. Gonna let you know. And honestly, I'll be honest, because you know who I am as a person. I have truly slid into somebody's DMs before and be like, yo, did y'all break up? Why y'all break up?
Hmm. I
Because
know you have.
I want to know, because now I'm mad that you didn't tell me. Like, no, we're not that close, but you posted it on your social media and I saw all the pictures go away. So now I need the ending. And honestly, most of the time they tell me. And they probably chuckle because it's me and they should expect that.
Very, very valid. I mean, I would expect it. So, I'm here for it. I
I
do feel like social media ruins moments.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me more.
So I got engaged, obviously, like I'm married now. I didn't post about that for an entire month. And honestly, it was so nice setting with my fiance and being able to appreciate that moment together and telling our friends that if we told you, you were obviously somebody we wanted to tell. I think that people do it just for the post. And so they immediately have to post about that moment, and it takes you out of the moment. So it completely ruins it. And it's ruining those moments for like everybody like that. Then that goes with like posting things on your stories and stuff like that. Like you can videotape something and not immediately put it up, because you don't have to do it in the app. You can have fun. You can, like, you have a front facing camera and you have a camera app, just use that app. And then later you might be like, oh, I actually don't want to post that, but that was like, I'm so glad I have that memory forever. And it's not necessary to post every little detail of your life. Now, if you're paying attention to my Instagram, I did post a picture of my ring on my Instagram throughout that month. And I think I only had like 3 people text me about it, because there wasn't really anybody. You were one of them. Because you were like, do you realize I didn't?
I was like,
yeah.
I think I do remember. Like, I thought we weren't telling anybody. Yeah.
Yeah, I only had like 2 other people other than you ask me about it. They were like, and but nobody really, because that wasn't an announcement, so nobody thought to look for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and I think only one person out of 3, because I think it was you, Jordan, and Sam Carnes.
Yes.
She was the only one who didn't know that I was engaged, who asked me if I was, and I was like, yeah, girl, but not telling anybody. But I know I kind of posted it. She was like, I love you for that.
Let's just talk about, can we have a whole fangirl club for Sam and Jordan too?
Oh my gosh, yes.
They're such phenomenal women. So if they happen to hear this, hey, we love y'all.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I just feel like it ruins moments of time. I mean, for the entirety of my wedding, I didn't even know where my phone was. My dad literally brought me my phone and was like, actually, he brought Josh and I our phones, and he was like, these were just in the yard. I was like, thank you.
Appreciate it. Who would have thought? No, I support that. I also don't think that now I have a lot of social media posts. Let me phrase that. I have a lot of social media posts, but I don't think you should post everything online. There are some things that are meant just for you in the moment that you're in. So I think that that's very valid. Sometimes social media can really take away from the moment of it just being something like intimate for you. Because when you put it publicly, it's no longer such an intimate experience.
Yeah, like I've never posted the original, like the day he proposed to me, those photos.
Oh yeah.
Like those just mean so much to me. And it was just like such a great moment between the 2 of us, and kind of funny because I was like about to cry and he was like, I need to get through this. But it was just like, it was amazing. And like I would never post those photos because it was just like an intimate moment between the 2 of us. We were lucky where we went, there was nobody around, so it like truly could feel like it was just the 2 of us in the entire world.
Yeah, it's cute though. I do love it.
Yeah,
great proposal story, great pictures. How else have you seen social media impact self-esteem?
Comparison is your worst enemy. Like regardless of who you're comparing yourself to, you don't know what step they are on compared to your step in your journey. And like take away like the full-time influencers. Like if you find people online that work and still manage to do it all, well, what team do they have behind them to get that done? Because like I know I wouldn't be able to do like all of the training I'm doing for running if like it wasn't for Josh helping, like doing things around the house and helping me with stuff. And he gets up on Saturday mornings and does my long runs with me, and like, but that like it's an effort between the both of us, and he is okay with that. And there's a team that goes along with it. We're a team of 2, but still that's a team.
Yeah, support matters.
Yes,
support matters. Yeah, that makes sense.
And not everybody's the same. Like I feel like a lot of people take a big hit when they see these like models. They're basically models at this point with the fitness influencers, and like how beautiful they are and what they look like. And then you're like, oh, they're literally 19 years old and haven't really lived a life, and they don't have the
Yeah.
scars of life that come along with it. So
Yeah.
it gets all of a perspective thing, but sometimes you have to take a couple of steps back to understand the perspective of like what's in front of you on social media for it. Because I mean, like we all done it. We've all compared ourselves to people we see on social media, and we've hit that wall of not seeing through the illusion of what's in front of us.
No, yeah, that's very valid. And, I always love to end with advice. So, what advice would you give someone who is struggling with some form of either the friendship, the relationship, the self-esteem, feeling the pressures, anything like that on social media?
With a lot of it, unfollow the ones that make you feel the way you do. And if it's affecting like a personal friendship, maybe look into that versus like blaming it on social media. That might be the like catalyst to some other things that you're putting on and seeing. But I unfollow people all the time. I'm like, you know what? This actually isn't good for my mental health. I don't need to watch these people do all these things because it's just not where I'm at right now. And also like unfollowing the people that are buying stuff all the time and telling you what they're buying. And if that's a problem you're having, unfollow them, because then you don't see it. It's not as big of a problem because it's not in front of you all the time. And do what like Desi and I are doing. We set times where like we can't even get into anything, and it's the ability to take a step away and not look at it. Because I mean, Desi and I both use social media for different things to promote things and do stuff. So like I'm not saying like social media is inherently bad, but you've got to take yourself out of the situations that are for you.
No, that's real good because we create our own habits, unfortunately. And so, yeah, like I don't get on social media before 12 o'clock. I just don't. Like, not going to find me on that. Again, from limiting my screen time, I still try to limit my screen time now. And I also, like you said, I do delete people. Like, if it's something that I'm comparing myself to, I'm going to delete it. I'm also trying to limit how much money I spend, like, because I don't need things anymore.
Right.
And so like you said, if it's like I followed a store or this or that or influencers buying, I unfollow them, right?
Yeah.
The same way I unsubscribe from an email when I sign up for a coupon, I unsubscribe from that. I'm gonna unsubscribe from you following you on any social media platforms. And my pockets love it and my mental health loves it. So
yeah, I feel like people forget that they can stop following other people because it's honestly freeing. And when I, like you said, when I want to save money and I don't want to spend a ton of money, I just like don't follow anything that is where I would purchase something. And so the only things I'm seeing are ads, and it has to say ad on it. So then I know it's an ad and I can just scroll right past it and I don't have to worry about it. And, but on my personal social media, I also have like curated it down to mainly my friends.
yeah, that's a smart move.
Yeah.
Well, so much has been talked about with this social media illusion and just really figuring out if people are being authentic online. Just know that we always try to be authentic. I don't know if we could try not to be. Again, we are our title. You gotta get what you get. So good luck with that. All right. Well, until next time, y'all, it's been real.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.